Doc, why the heck did you want to meet me in this back alley of all places? And at midnight, no less.
Shh, hey, were you followed?
What?
Look, were you followed?
What? Of course not. What is going on? Are you in some sort of trouble or something?
Okay, no, nothing like that. I mean, not this time at least. Look, you're not wearing a wire. Well, okay, never mind. You're not. I trust you. Yeah, glad you showed up.
What? Doc, hold on a sec. What's going on? You're starting to freak me out a little bit.
Okay, so you know how my kill-to-death ratio on Battlefield is, like, off the charts good? Like, not bragging or anything, but it's been pretty damn impressive recently, right?
I mean, yeah, actually it has been pretty good lately, I will admit.
Yeah, well, what if I said that I had a little help that kind of pushed my skill over the edge?
I would say that makes a lot of sense, since the other day you went about 10 and 50. That was pretty bad.
14 and 50, Look, it's not important, but look, the reason that my gaming has really been elevated recently is that, I have this new thing called Fade Grips.
Fade Grips? What is that? And obvious follow-up question, can I get some of my own?
Okay, look, if you promise to keep this between you, me, and Chocolate, I mean, I can't have my secret, my ace in the hole, my rise to gaming glory just out on the streets for everyone to partake in. I mean, like, that's crazy. Like, why would I do that?
Of course. So how do I get my hands on these grips? And are they expensive? Are they affordable? I do want to take my gaming to the next level, but within reason, you know?
Did you hear? Okay, no, it's nothing. Okay, look, if you go to fadegrips.store, not only will you find an assortment of top-of-the-line thumbsticks and grips with full controller grips, but if you type in the code CAG20, CAG20, CAG20 at checkout, you will get 20% off your entire order. You heard me right, Risky. 20% off.
Wow, this is great news,
dude,
Doc.
Whoa, Risky, keep your voice. I swear I thought I heard somebody. Keep your voice down. Remember, we can't have this getting out to the public. After all, this was in confidence, remember?
Yeah, sure. Just between us and Chocolate.
Whoa.
You can 100% trust me.
Dude, is that a wire hanging out your shirt there? What the? Risky!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week is only one of my co-hosts, Doc H1X1.
What's up?
Not much, man. Chocolate,
Where's Chocolate?
well, you know, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he didn't come back from a very chaotic weekend or
Very
what
chaotic
happened
weekend,
to him.
you say?
But yeah, he couldn't make it tonight, but he will be here next week. And we still plan on giving you the most entertaining show about gaming that you could be listening to right now.
Always. It's what we do.
How's your week been, man? Getting into anything?
Pretty good. Not a whole lot. I'm in the process of getting my, I guess you call it, den, man cave, gaming setup, whatever you want to call it.
You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, it's my room, I guess, right? So I'm getting the process of getting all that moved from the office first floor to the den, which is now finally finished in the basement. So actually, as soon as the podcast is over with today, I will have the last of everything moved down there, computer, everything at that point. So I'm pretty much podcasting in an empty room right now. It looks like I've been robbed.
The last episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming being recorded from your ex-man cave.
I know, right? This is a big moment, right?
I like to just generally refer to mine as the office. Just say, hey, I'm going up to the office. It sounds more adult.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I feel like that's the adult thing to say, right? Because that's what I usually refer to, and I think I'll just keep calling it the office because,
Although, I have heard dad pad. I think once you're a father, dad pad is that's acceptable.
Yeah, so maybe I'll upgrade that later when
will you?
Well, I
Something you
mean,
need
you
to
know,
tell our listeners?
Well, maybe. No, not actually. Not yet, at least. And I mean, all I can say is that Chocolate has been one of the most
birth control-y
Yeah,
people
yeah,
ever.
that might be the best way to say it. God bless you and your children, Chocolate. But
once a week, I get my perfect dose of birth control from chocolate when he's gone for a third of the podcast.
I don't know if you're around for the in the council channel about the his kids, what he found in his bedroom earlier today. But
didn't they not have their diapers on or something?
Yeah, apparently stuff happens when that's
what a nightmare.
Thing. So sorry about that, chocolate. That sounds fun.
I don't like cleaning up dog crap out of the backyard with a shovel. I can't imagine having to scrape it off the walls.
It's the same thing. You just have a shovel inside. It's the only difference.
No, I would just knock out the walls or just shut that door, nail it shut, and never go in there again.
It's problem solved. Just
the only good solution I can think of is quarantining that whole room for the rest of forever.
Yeah, just what do they have it like a bug bomb? You do like when you have like a house.
Yeah, we
that's
put up
infested?
like a circus tent over your
just
house.
Like grenade, throw that in there maybe. That would work, right?
I think that's safe.
Okay.
Make sure you take the kid out, I think.
I'm ready to be a dad. Sounds good.
Oh, man. Me, on the other hand, I just got back literally like a half hour ago from the great New York State Fair.
Oh, man.
Emphasis on the great. Because you can order anything deep fried at this place in the world, and it really just brings out the brightest and best that Syracuse has to offer.
I mean, I've never heard it called anything but the Great New York State Fair. So I mean, it sounds on the up and up. What did you get anything to eat there that you might want to?
Oh, I sure, of course I did.
Please.
I had I would essentially say it was just a chimichanga, but they were it was a big thing that said deep fried tacos, and I was like,
dude,
I'm sold. So walked up there. It was definitely just deep fried burritos, which you're encroaching on chimichanga time there. So I don't know.
I'm fine with everything you just said. Yeah.
But it was called the. Nope, I'm not gonna remember what it was called, but it had pulled pork, mac and cheese, and coleslaw in like a burrito, and it was deep fried, and words can't describe.
Dude, I am so hungry right now.
Feel like I'm not gonna be hungry for a few days. But I also get a euro from there because there's this one place that doesn't like we have Greek places around here, but none of them have like this perfect euro. I make sure to get that.
Is it actually more of an authentic thing or just like their style?
I would think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. I don't even live in New York, and I'm almost tempted to drive up there and get one of those because
you guys must have a great New York, or probably not a New York State Fair.
I'll tell you about the Kentucky State Fair sometime, man.
That might actually draw out worse people than New York.
Well, we'll report back on that sometime.
Great, can't wait.
That'll be a whole episode on its own. So
yeah, just the worst part is that it's like 95 degrees out with no cloud coverage.
Totally.
So just like
totally.
Walking from my car down there, I was like, well, I'm drenched in sweat. I better go eat some deep fried food.
It's like it really feel good.
No better option here.
I hate my body. Let's just. Oh, dude, I bet. I mean, what is it up there right now? I mean, like it's bad down here, so I imagine it's still probably pretty bad up there too, right?
I think it was in the 90s by like 10, 11.
Oh, yuck.
And it was only getting hotter. For some reason they have this new building there, and there's an ice rink inside of it.
Yeah.
No idea why, but
why not?
I don't know. But walked in there and then made sure that really took our time walking through that building.
Oh yeah.
That was nice and cool, but it's way too hot to be outside. So I just suggest on these type of days that everybody continues to game.
Yeah,
it's the safest thing to do.
It's better for you
with this weather.
It is healthier for you. You heard it here first.
I'll jump into what I've been doing because you're talking about healthy stuff. So this is a weird thing I want to put out there quick. I've been gaming while biking. on a sit down bike. So not
I was about to go into a hole. That's dangerous, risky. You shouldn't do
just
that.
Out on roads, just passing cars and stuff with my Switch like locked into my
just swerving back and forth on the interstate. It's fine.
No, we've had this sit down bike for forever, and I saw it down in our basement. I don't know, like a week ago, and I was like, I could probably stand to do some type of physical activity in my life. So
hey, I mean, that's smart though. That's a really good idea. I mean, seriously.
It just stays off in a corner in the living room, and then I just kind of like bring it out into the center if I need to play something on the PlayStation, or I just sit over on it with my Switch. And dude, I'm doing like 20 miles a day playing Switch. It's It's awesome.
Like I said, that's smart because I mean, like, yeah, it's something that's not. I mean, you're not doing anything with your hands anyways at that point, so you know.
That's the thing.
Plus, if you're gonna game, you're just gonna sit there anyways. So yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and instead of looking at like the miles or anything, I just look at the speed and I just like make sure it's at a certain level. And if like starts to drop below, then I'm like, well, need to pick it up. But if you're playing like Hollow Knight or something, sometimes I'll just like look down and be like, oh, my legs aren't moving. I'm just sitting in an uncomfortable chair.
I was gonna ask, like, do you ever get like to a part in a game where like you get frustrated at a boss or something, you're actually like pedaling harder, or like it's like
no, yeah, yep.
damn, like it's like
or I make
Hollow Knight.
I make it a point, like, because I played a bunch of God of War this week. I'll make it a point to pedal like as fast as I can when there's like a cutscene and I don't have to actually do anything. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get it in here. So when I am not pedaling at all, 10 minutes from now, we'll make up for that.
You've got your own like Pendleton bike coach. Basically, it's just a boss in a game, though. Essentially,
exactly. Yep.
Free. No, not even a subscription service. You just found a free way.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
but
smart.
It's been fun, and I feel like it'll make me feel better about sitting down and playing games for 3-4 hours at night sometimes.
Heck yeah, man. I mean, like, I'm actually gonna be looking to do the exact same thing or something like that, because like I said, that's a smart idea. I never really thought about it. You know, like it's like
easiest way to do it.
If I'm gonna sit here, like, I should be getting some exercise in if I can. Absolutely. Now you mentioned God of War. You beat that, right?
Boy, what a piece of art.
Would you say that game has some moments in it?
Dude, so like I said last week, I picked it up and I said I wasn't going to stop playing it until I finished it. So then I didn't stop playing it until I finished it.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, the game's tough to talk about without spoiling stuff. Although I feel like we're getting dangerously close to people should have played this by now.
Well, it's going to be one of those things, like, I guess once we get to Game of the Year, maybe gloves off then. But, yeah, I'm like you. Like, if you've not played this game yet, try to play this game. Yeah.
For people that have played, there's something maybe I can say, like, I'll just be vague about it. But, like, Atreus, at some point, that's your son in the game. He has this revelation, or, like, his father tells him something, and he just becomes this... He's such a douche. And, like, every other word that comes out of his mouth is whatever.
Would you say he was having some teen angst at that point, maybe?
Yeah, 100%. And I wanted to pick him up and rip him in half. I was like, Kratos, you're definitely strong enough to rip him in half. Why don't we have that as a button prompt? Where's my quick time event to rip my son in half? Not a thing. Maybe it should be.
I just pictured like a God of War sitcom. And he comes in home from school. He's like, whatever, Dad. You never had any friends. You don't know what it's like. I'll be in my room.
Dude, that's literally where I was at. And I was like, this is really wearing on me.
Yeah.
So everything I do, it's like, boy, do this. And he's like, whatever. It's like, what do you mean, whatever?
I'm the God of War. What? Do it.
He gets out of that eventually. And that everything becomes better. But there's a fight on a dragon at one point with a certain someone, and that whole scene there is so epic. And then like the final encounters in that game feel like they're not super complex, or like it's nothing you haven't seen before as far as the actual like fighting mechanics go or anything. But they made it feel like you were like in a movie. Like it was so cinematically well done. The whole like last half hour of that game, I was at the end of my seat, probably pedaling way too fast for anyone's good.
You got some miles in then, like.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's looking back at that game. That's the thing I think about is like they did such a good job building up to certain moments, and just the payoff felt so good. Like there's a part in the game where, again, not to be too specific, kind of vague, you get something back that you might have remembered from old God of War games or something like that, and it's just it's a holy shit moment. Like,
yeah, that's I touched on that last week, where it's like that new thing that you knew about before. Yeah, you got it back,
and you get some callbacks. Maybe they do a good job, because when for me at least, when I first started playing this game, I'm like, is this a reboot? Like, is this the same guy? And it's like, no, he's got a scar across his chest. It's the same God of War. Like. And then they eventually come around to, like, throwing in some callbacks and stuff, and it's like, oh, man, this is really like, you're really starting to come around with all these different things interlacing and stuff. It
ties in real, like, without it. you don't need to have played 1 through
No,
3
also
to
that,
enjoy this game, but if
Yeah.
you did, there's a lot of moments that you'll
100%.
appreciate a lot more because of that.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't think I can say enough good things about that game. It's definitely the best game I've played this year, I would say.
Would you say probably on your short list right now for Game of the Year, probably?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I don't know if you've played this game and it somehow isn't. I would question your...
What kind of discerning gamer are you if you're just played it? Meh. It's all right.
Unless the like story and lore maybe is like not like your setting, your preferred setting or something, maybe sure, but
maybe true.
I'm not super into Norse gods or anything, but this game, speaking
Hey.
of Norse gods, if you just a PSA for anyone playing this game or trying to play this game, once you roll credits, go back to your house, and then you will get like a bonus ending kind of thing. I was about to send this game back to my friend, and he was like, "Did you go home yet after the credits?" And I was like, "Nope, but I will now, I guess." So I went home, and then it's literally like 15-30 seconds, but like, what?
Yeah, my jaw hit the floor.
What?
My jaw hit the floor. That part is just like, no way.
And like,
no way.
if you questioned whether or not there was going to be another God of War, it'll be there for you.
Let's just say Kratos, like the previous God of War games, has a history of maybe pissing off certain gods and maybe
killing all of them.
And then maybe he kills some people related to them, and maybe they feel like they have some unfinished business with him. So, yeah, there will be spoiler alert, guys. There will be a God of War 2 on this one, so that will happen.
Yep.
Can't wait to see what they do with it. I'm being risky. I know we were talking off air, but we were kind of wondering if they were going to do like a trilogy with Norse gods, or they've even the creator of the series has talked about like Egyptian gods, stuff like that. So it's like everything's up in the air, I feel like, as far as what they could do.
What makes sense to me, and like with the pacing of this first game and how many more Norse gods there still are out there that we can kill,
there's a lot more to kill. Yeah,
I would say like they could easily do a trilogy on each
100%.
Each new,
and I would be
100%
okay with that too.
Oh,
I would
definitely.
be.
Oh man, it's so good.
I can't wait to 20 years from now we're on like God of War reboot number like 4 or 5, and it's like you killed the last god of any known fictional or non-fictional work of art. You're just like,
we can't think of any more gods.
Yeah, they're all dead. I guess we can go home now, right? That's it.
That's that. Yeah, great game. I also Hollow Knight. Knocked that one off too. It has been a great week for gaming.
Yeah, man,
for me at least. I've been knocking stuff out.
Those two games alone, that is impressive to say you have completed and beat. So yeah.
Hollow Knight, my total time I think said 42 hours when I finished up. I will say a lot of that is pause time, like sitting, leaving the Switch on while I'm going to do something.
Right.
I also do this fun thing because I'm such a great adult. I'll set timers on my phone where I play for 10 minutes and then I clean for 10 minutes. So
hey, I mean, that's smart. I used to do a thing like that with how I studied back in the day. Like I would study so long, take a break, rinse and repeat. So yeah, it works. Yeah.
So yeah, that right there was probably 3 hours of me not actually touching the thing.
Right.
But when I finished it, so when I say finished it, there's so many weird little secrets, and like some of the DLC stuff I think you actually have to go find in other sections of the world. But I rolled credits on it. I beat the final boss.
Nice.
And when you do
beat
that,
the Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I beat the Hollow Knight. So that last boss fight, it definitely took me the longest out of any boss fight in the game.
Yeah.
But at that point, like, the game's over, and spoilers if you wouldn't have thought after you beat the Hollow Knight that you beat the game.
What?
It's like I knew I was at that point. So it was probably close to 2 hours of me just rinse and repeating. And he does a certain thing where he like falls down to his knees, and that's when you know that you're on like the next stage of
right.
like what he'll be doing next. You have to figure out all these
Yeah.
his new moves and what new stuff he's trying to throw at you and all that. And it's like I would be stuck on the first set of them for a while. And then finally I got to the second, and it like gave me that second wind. And then I was like, all right, I got to be close. And then it happens a third time, and you're like, oh no, this isn't done yet. What have I done?
There's another stage.
But then
I feel like that's very Dark Souls, like you're trying to get like stages
yes.
of a boss down kind of thing, you know? Yeah, for sure.
100% that's what it was.
Yeah.
But then it's like once he finally went down and like exploded and all this stuff happened, I was just like, I did it. I did
like
it.
a huge sigh of relief. It is done.
Yeah, it's crazy that like that whole encounter probably actually took me like 2 minutes. But getting to learning all of it and beating it was actually like a 2-hour thing.
Yeah, that game makes you earn it, sounds like.
Yeah, it definitely does. And then then I got credits, and that was great. So once you get credits, it tells you how many hours you put in. So it was like 42 or whatever. And right below that, it's like percentage complete, and it was like 73. I was
you
like,
loser.
What do you mean 73?
Do you even Hollow Knight? 73.
And then
did you play the game risky? Be honest, like
Team Cherry sure doesn't think I did. I thought I did a pretty fine job, but guess I'm wrong.
Oh man, no, that is pretty cool.
I think this ended at a perfect time, where it's like if I had to keep doing the same kind of stuff over and over, it might have started to wear on me. I even think it was sort of towards the end there. I ended up Googling how to get, there's like an acid resistance that you need to progress through to get into like certain levels, so you need to have that or whatever, so you can get to these new spots.
Maybe didn't make it like super obvious or anything at the time, or
and so I couldn't figure out where to get it. So I put markers on different areas where I think I'm gonna need things, and I put a marker on the spot where I actually got it. So I had just missed something. I had missed like falling down a little tunnel to go get this thing.
Just overlooked a small area.
I would have never went back and searched there because I put a pin that was like, I can't get in this area until I do this thing.
Right, this is locked off somehow.
So I'm actually really glad I Googled it, because I would have literally just been wandering around. And it's not good like Dead Cells, where you can literally teleport like, I don't know, like every 100 yards you have a teleporter.
Yeah.
You have to go find the stag coaches, and you have to actually travel. It's a whole thing, but it's done. I'm glad. That game, it was so good. It was another, like, finishing God of War and Hollow Knight, these two games that I have such a high standing in their genres to me right now. It's like, what a week.
Yeah, I mean, like, for you to actually complete both of those in the same week, that is actually saying a lot. That has to really feel like a sense of accomplishment, no joke.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This feels like one of the best weeks I've had in gaming, because you know what? This isn't even... These aren't even the two game. I finished another game, Doc.
What?
I finished another game.
Risky. Seriously?
I brought this up last show that Donut County was coming out.
Oh.
So yeah, this is literally you know how long it took me to beat Hollow Knight? 2 hours? This game took me 2 hours to complete on its own.
Nice.
So there's that. It was like $13 on the PlayStation, but it was only $5, so I played on iOS. So I bought it for my iPad. Played it there, which I will say, if you're looking for a cheap alternative to actually buying the game, there's nothing wrong with the touch version of this. Like, everything that you need to do in that game functions perfectly fine.
I think that's where I'm probably going to end up picking it up
with
to
touch
play.
controls. I mentioned this last week, but it's just a game about swallowing stuff up with this hole. As you swallow things up, it gets bigger and bigger. But I didn't realize there was actually like a story to it, which kind of makes sense. So there's this raccoon who he's playing a phone app, and he's literally playing what you're playing. Essentially, he's going around sucking all these things up into holes,
right.
Because he thinks that everything is garbage, and he's trying to get rid of it all. He's got some real weird motives.
I've seen some talk about the story in this game, and it sounds pretty great, I have to say.
And then so it's like what you're doing throughout the story is going back in time, and you're recreating the moments where certain townsfolk lost their like property, like their homes and stuff. It's like, well, I went to order a donut, and then this hole just came and it sucked everything up. So you like go there and you actually recreate all that.
Right.
And everyone's sitting down in a fire. in the bottom of the earth, like where everybody got sucked up into. So he's just going around like, oh, well, what happened to you? And then it's like you have to replay that. Another cool, charming part of this game is when you suck things up at the end of each level, there's this thing called the Trashopedia. And if you click on it, you can look at each piece of whatever that you sucked up, and then it has what the raccoon like thinks they are. So the stuff that he it's some, I wish I wrote some of it down because it's some of the most comical writing, just these little quips on what he thinks a clay pot actually is, or like what he thinks it does. It's a great little bonus, and I every single map I went through, I did check and look at those because I wanted to read exactly what it was, which probably adds on to the game time because, like I said, it is a short game.
It does sound like it's got like an insane amount of charm, and just like I remember like when I searched it in the App Store, the first picture they showed was a raccoon playing a mobile game on the toilet, just sitting there texting, playing a mobile game on the toilet. I'm just like, yeah, this game's probably pretty good.
Little do you know, he was sucking up whole residents' homes.
Right. It was the basis of the story.
Man, I feel like I just pulled a doc there and talked for a half hour.
Hey, man, you beat 3 games, man, and I
Feels
mean,
good.
Yeah, let's be honest, you got some work done now. On the other end of that, speaking of not getting work done,
hey, what didn't you play?
Well, just about everything. This has been a not great week for me. I'm gonna blame a lot of this, even though it's not actually the reason. I'm gonna blame a lot of this on me moving stuff down to the den, even though I've still got everything set up in here and totally could have played video games. But whatever, not gonna talk about that. I did play still a considerable amount of Battlefield 1 because
we know.
I can't wait for Battlefield 5, which heartbroken about some news about that. We'll talk about later, but still enjoying Battlefield 1 though. With that said though, we'll do a little public service announcement here. Right now, actually, when this goes live, you can actually play the Battlefield 5 beta if you pre-ordered the game. If you did not pre-order it, everybody can play it in an open beta starting on Thursday. But if you pre-ordered it, you should be able to just search Battlefield 5 open beta in the store and download and play it.
So much stuff is coming out tomorrow. We'll get to that later in the show.
Also that too.
Woo!
Yeah.
Great time to be gaming.
Yeah, so played a lot of Battlefield 1. I still love it. You know, it's Battlefield 1. Nothing else to really say about it. Another game I got back into because even though I'd almost beat this game before, but it recently got put in Game Pass, and it's kind of why I want to give a shout out to it, was Avon Colony. The best way to think of this game is it's like City Skylines, but on alien worlds, essentially. And it's basically a city builder, just sci-fi theme. But it's a really solid one, and I would say it's a little bit more on the easier side, or maybe not easier side, but maybe less involved than the City Skylines is. City Skylines can really let you get into the nitty-gritty of every single detail if you want to, versus this is much more surface level stuff you're controlling. But it's different in the sense that, like, okay, so you're on an alien planet, and obviously you have to have your basic stuff you would think of: living quarters, water, food, growing farms, greenhouses, things like that. But then you also have to worry about toxic fumes and having like ventilation systems properly dispersed throughout your base. And do you want to go super cheap and get ones that just suck in outside air but can also suck in toxic air, or ones that actually filter it? Like, you have a lot of give and take things like that of the game with a sci-fi twist on it.
I would say it seems very City Skylines. Just
it's super,
in a different setting, so some things like your air vents with the talk. Yeah, that's cool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's more of a sci-fi theme. There can be creatures. There's even like these slime ball things that'll float in, and you have to have turrets up to where they can shoot them down so they don't infect your buildings. Stuff like that. So again, it's more surface level, a little bit easier to I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. Easier to approach than City Skylines, and it might be worth picking up if you've ever been interested in a city builder game, or maybe just like the sci-fi theme of those type of games. You know, you might like it. But it's in Game Pass now, and totally worth picking up. It's a lot of fun. I went back and actually finished it finally. I had gotten to like the second to last planet or something like that.
So there is like a storyline then of some.
Maybe
don't go that far.
Super loose. I'll put it this way: it's a story in the sense that you are I think they call you a chancellor or something like that. Governor, I guess, if you will, of like these colonies, and you have to prove yourself at each each planet as you go. Each one getting harder and harder, and you have to prove that you can adequately manage a colony and grow it and things like that.
Okay, so they just kind of have like different. It's like a checklist for each planet where you have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, meet this population, or maybe expand this many areas. Just some pretty basic city building type objective stuff. Yeah. But yeah, definitely worth picking up. It's pretty cool, and been playing more Graveyard Digger. That game continues to get weirder and weirder. Or Graveyard Keeper. Sorry, I keep messing that up. Yeah, thanks.
You are a Graveyard Digger
I
as well, I
am
guess.
a Graveyard Keeper. That game just continues to get more weird and weird, and I'll have more to talk about that next week. I only delved into it a little bit more, but it's a lot like Stardew Valley in the sense that it's got a lot of charm. It's just a different type of charm, but it's something. So yeah,
good man.
That's about it for me though.
All right. Well, you've caught up with us. Chocolate, what are you playing? Oh wait, he's not here, is he?
Chocolate? Oh. No.
Well, next,
is he? Is he
let's
coming?
do the chocolates call. Oh, son of a! Holy, can you hear that? The thunder? No, what? That's
Oh,
not,
yeah, I
that's not
could,
an
actually.
incoming missile noise.
Oh,
that
I was about to say, is that actually
legitimate. I just had to take a headphone out because it sounded like a car crashed into a tree outside or something.
got a
Whew.
tornado warning in your area? Risky.
It is storming here. If we lose power, I don't really know what that does to this recording, but hopefully we can salvage it.
Nice.
Yeah, so Chocolate's Call Out Challenge is on hiatus for the week. Chocolate will be back next week to call out the next poor soul that he will
who's it gonna be?
definitely destroy in some game of their choosing.
Absolutely. I heard he I think he played somewhat in Pez, is that correct? I want to say.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was talking to somewhat about that the other night, and it sounds like not going to give anything away, but it sounds like Chocolate might have actually finally picked an appropriate game.
A
for
game
him
he might
to,
actually be able to win at.
Hey, your words. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next, let's get into the news. All right. So, first up, we have the Games of Gold and PlayStation Plus for this upcoming month. For Xbox One, we're going to be getting Prison Architect. That is from September 1st, September 30th. I actually, I'm going to assume this is about you creating a prison. And then
You are correct, Risky.
So just having right precautions and right safeguards to stop prisoners from leaving.
This game is really fun, actually. I highly recommend it. It is, I was just talking about like a city builder. This is a prison builder, but
it makes sense.
It's oddly fun, kind of like Graveyard Keeper.
Yep.
Keeper, yeah.
You got it.
Oh man, I'm so screwed up now. Yeah, kind of like that game. It's like a game. It's like, oh, is it really that fun doing this? But like, this is a like. They give you so this actually does have a campaign or a free build. So like they'll give you scenarios that really help you learn how to go about building prisons, things like that. But that's fun and all. But yeah, just the free build mode and just getting a prison up and working and how you progress in terms of like, okay, if your prison meets these capabilities, you can get this level of prisoner, or now you can have prisoners that are on death row, or
oh dang.
It actually gets kind of real at some parts, as far as like you literally have to build a execution chamber at one point.
Well, all right.
Prison Architect.
So
it's fun for the whole family.
That's available now through the end of the month, so definitely go pick that up. Next up for Xbox One, we have Live Lock. I have no idea what it is. September 16th to October 15th, so middle of the month you'll be able to pick that up. For the 360, starting now and running to the 15th, Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. I didn't even know that they sold those not in the trilogy formats.
I didn't
But
either,
if for some reason the one Star Wars Lego game you're missing is The Clone Wars, there you go. First of the 15th.
Covered now.
And then for the latter half of the month, that's from the 16th to the 30th. For 360, we have the Sega Vintage Collection, Monster World. Never played Monster World. Never owned a Sega.
Nope, same here.
Your PS Plus games, boy, are you guys in for a treat.
Yeah,
first
we got a
up,
solid batch.
I've been hyping up God of War, this new one, God of War 3 Remastered, is up in September for PS Plus. Another great game. I don't know what else to say about it.
I don't actually. Yeah, I think I played it. I want to say like it might be worth me actually playing this one because I want to say I played the original on. Was 3 on the PS3, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I want to say yeah because I think God of War first one was PS2 and then 2 and 3 were PS3 probably. But yeah, I think I played the original on 3. Yeah.
And then you also have Destiny 2, which seems huge, like,
and pretty timely considering.
Do you think that's a coincidence?
Oh, I don't know.
With Forsaken coming out today, them putting this out a few days ago.
I'm not a businessman, Risky. I don't know these things.
All right, quickly, your PS3 games, you have Another World and Cube, and for your Vita, Sparkle 2 and Foul Play.
What's a Vita?
I think it's like a shittier version of the Switch. I don't know. Not sure.
Oh, I thought it was one of those things you water and they grow like little plants on their head. Is that not?
What is the actual name of those things?
I don't actually know. I was. Hey guys, that's what it's called when you try to make a bad joke and it doesn't work out. You're welcome. That has been a tutorial on that.
Oh god.
Moving on.
All right, what's up next?
Okay. I feel like we get a rehash story on this every week, but hey, Sony keeps saying dumb stuff, so we'll keep talking about it.
All right.
Didn't I want to help me out here, Risky? Didn't one of their execs at one point say that they were looking into how best to approach crossplay? Maybe is the way they worded it.
Isn't that the statement you would give your fan base no matter what you're actually doing either way?
One might say sort of generic. So this came out yesterday that Sony CEO. Okay, here we go. The last name I can get. First name is
Kenichiro Yoshida. Close enough.
Hell yeah, Risky. Way to go. Yeah. Reportedly told the press that his company generally doesn't believe in the idea of opening up the PlayStation to cross-platform multiplayer. Quoted as saying, on cross-platform, our way of thinking is always that the PlayStation is the best place to play. Fortnite, I believe, partnered with PlayStation 4, is the best experience for users. That's our belief. He said, according to The Independent, which this is what this came from online blog. But actually, we already opened up some games as cross-platform with PC and some others. So we decided based on what is the best user experience. Excuse me. That is our way of thinking for cross-platform. So
my favorite part of this quote is that he's like, actually, we already opened this up to cross-platform with PC and some others.
I mean, that was almost just like an internet meme.
What?
Yeah, like others is
like Linux I guess, and Mac.
Actually,
and Windows, like
mobile, maybe would that count?
Yeah,
is
sure.
Fortnite? I guess you could technically play Fortnite on mobile with PS4, right?
Who knows? Who wants to do
maybe
that?
Maybe who knows? But anyways, I love the part where he's like, "Actually, we've already done this. You're welcome. You should be thanking us." Yeah, I don't know. This is I think if anybody was wondering if this was going to happen anytime soon, whatsoever, I think this might finally seal that up with put a little bow on that. That this is at least this generation not going to happen.
Done.
So
all right, well,
yeah.
Rest in peace. Yeah. Cross-platform for PlayStation and friends that have different platforms that want to play with their friends across different platforms.
Yeah. Sorry.
A bunch of jerks.
What are you gonna do?
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go check out what games are coming to Game Pass in September. How does that sound?
Oh, dang. That sounds great.
All right, here's a few games that are coming to Game Pass in September. You have Halo, the Master Chief Collection. At one point, a AAA $60 game that definitely didn't work at all when it first came out.
What?
I think it's working
details,
now,
Risky, details. Hey, Risky, is it working now? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, someone just said there was a 76 gigabyte update to it, so I think it's at
I saw that actually. Yeah.
Like that game's gonna take up a terabyte a year from now.
I will say this though, they did, and I hope more games introduce this. That game is one of the first ones I've seen now that introduces these smart downloads, so you can actually go in and select if you only want to download certain Halos.
I just want
games.
Halo 2. That's all I want, and now I can do
go
that.
in and do that.
Perfect.
Yep, you can go in and do that. Yep.
Also, Quantum Break, great first-party game. If you haven't played that, you owe it to yourself. Even if you don't like the whole live-action like TV show part of it, that's not even that bad, guys.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
can totally
that bad.
skip that part. Yeah, also not bad either. Yeah, I mean, like it's not terrible. I need to beat that. I've still not done that game.
Do it. Definitely do it.
I know.
We talked about this because of were we talking about Sean Ashmore?
I think Sean Ashmore came up in our conversations at one point. I mean, it's what happens over at Cross Atlantic Gaming, guys. If you want to talk more Sean Ashmore, come to Cross Atlantic Gaming. We've got plenty of it. So yeah.
Well said. All right. Onrush. I knew people. Have you played Onrush or looked at Onrush?
No, I was actually gaming with Ladonian, Cabo, and Somewhat last night, and that got brought up. We downloaded it. A little correction on this. I didn't know this till Ladonian told me last night. This actually doesn't go into Game Pass until the 5th, Thursday.
Is that all of these?
No, just Onrush. As far as I know, just Onrush.
Okay.
There is a 2-hour free trial you can play right now, but it won't be in Game Pass until Thursday.
Okay, cool.
I don't know, how that really happened or why, but yeah, I got kind of filled in on that because if you go to basically search Onrush right now, it'll say like buy or 2-hour free trial, and I was kind of like, what? I thought this was Game Pass, but that's why. So if you see that, yeah, it's coming just Thursday.
All right, good deal. Next up, Avon Colony.
Heyo.
You already did your piece on that. Shadow Warrior 1, Skyforce Reloaded,
Okay.
Snake Pass.
Oh, addendum. Snake Pass is actually not coming. I didn't even think to put that in here too. I just read a article that is not actually coming to.
Yeah, that game sucks anyways, so we don't care.
Yeah, F that game, right? Am I right?
All right, well, fine.
Losers.
Then we'll give you Manual Samuel. All right.
Seems like a fair trade, I guess.
And then the last two are the Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams. That game, I don't know why I have that. I don't know if it was Games with Gold
I think it was
or something.
Games with Gold.
Okay.
Yep, I think I have it too. Yep.
Fun platformer with a twist. You can swap back and forth between the two sisters, and one like lives on the dark side, and the other one lives on the light side. So you kind of like swap the actual level you're platforming on. Between the two sisters, with like a button press, it swaps everything. Kind of cool.
It almost sounds like you. I don't know if you ever played that game.
Yeah,
it sounds like
Yep.
it sounds like that a little bit.
I would say so. So yeah, that's a fun little platformer. And then the last one is Inner Space, which I don't know anything about, but
I don't either.
Those are your games coming to Game Pass now and within the next couple days.
Solid. I mean, you consider like Halo, Quantum Break, Onrush. Heard good things about.
Yeah.
That is a solid month. I mean,
or even this is. As far as I knew, it's just a mobile game, but Skyforce is a great.
Actually,
I don't even. What kind of game is that? I can't even think of what it is. Where you're flying upwards, and then it's kind of like Galaga, except for you have movement, like vertical movement.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the best way to sum it up. Yeah, it's like I've only played it a little bit, but it is really fun.
Corridor bullet hell game, kind of. I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe
a new genre. Anyways, Doc, how about we get into some sad news here?
Oh man, I guess I shouldn't be that sad.
No, you shouldn't, because if anything, this was exciting news for me.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, any game delayed theoretically only gets better. So a couple days, actually 3 or 4 days ago, it got announced on the official Battlefield 5 Battlefield Twitter that Battlefield 5 was being delayed from October 19th until November 20th. Now, I'm not going to get into the craziness with how the dates work if you're in EA Access or pre-ordered, all that stuff, but those are the general launch
It's pretty
dates
much a month later than you thought you were.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a month later. Before I actually, let me just go ahead and read the quotes here. So Oscar Gabrielson, general manager of DICE, says after feedback from the closed alpha players and demo booths from E3 and Gamescom, DICE needs to rework gameplay tempo, soldier visibility, and player friction.
What do those
friction.
mean?
I don't. I
Player friction.
I kind of, I'm not gonna say that might be a typo, but I like to think that there's a technical term within Dice like, guys, our player friction's off the wall. We gotta get this shit down. Player friction way too high. Way too much friction. Anyways, maybe we'll look that up.
That's what I'm doing
That'll be our
right
homework
now.
for the week. What's player friction?
Reducing.
Hey, Risky, safe search on if you know what I mean, please.
Too late.
Let's just.
It's too late. Oh no.
Oh
no. There's so many pop up. Doc. Oh, no.
Just throw your PC out the window. It's your only hope right now. Just
Throw it right out into the thunderstorm.
Disconnect. Yeah. Just. Anyways. So. Also, he went on to say that there are also. So before I talk about this last part, a lot of fans were getting upset because more and more news would come out that like, hey, the Battle Royale won't be at launch. Hey, not all of the Tides of War will be at launch, or some of these other things that they had talked up is like things you would expect to be in the game at launch. We're not going to be at launch. So basically, he come out and said, we're trying to unlock the full potential of Tides of War system, and that is replacing Battlefield Premium rewards, including vehicles, weapons, dog tags. Basically, they're saying stuff we were saying might not be at launch initially. We're going to try to extend this out a month, get everything wrapped up, polished, and try to get you a much more complete package at launch, which, yeah, duh. I mean, you would hope that that's what they would do, but...
Can we go back to the player friction for a second?
Let's go back to player friction.
I'm just gonna read this because this was not a typo. It says Dice needs more time to tweak some more aspects of the game in time for the release. These include adjusting the gameplay tempo, improving soldier visibility, and reducing player friction. Says Gabrielson.
Period. Just nothing else. Okay.
We need to send good old Oscar a email and ask him what player friction
Can we get a clarification here?
And why are we trying to reduce it? We're all looking to have a good time.
Is too much, or is there never enough? I mean,
never enough.
Who am I to say, right? Who am I to say?
Yes.
To each their own, right? Yeah. So I mean, this is all essentially good news. I think we had even talked about it off air in the Discord about how we were starting to get a lot of vibes of Titanfall 2 with this falling in between Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, and
wrecked,
Red Dead.
Red Dead was right
totally.
there. It was literally sandwiched between Red Dead and
100%.
Call of Duty. What?
100%.
Nope.
Like,
bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I'm not a businessman, but seems like maybe not the smartest time to release a game, maybe. But, Red Dead 2, one of the biggest juggernauts we're going to have in years. Call of Duty is always a juggernaut. How about, release it in November after everything's launched, give it its own spotlight. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything super major launching after November 20th. I could be wrong about that. I think maybe Smash Brothers, and that might be it.
Yeah, and then you have the only game I can think of that's even later than that is Just Cause 4, but that's like the middle of December,
that's kind of
it's completely different.
Probably it's kind of its own thing anyways, yeah. So, I mean, this is smart for a lot of reasons, and hey, maybe I would have worded it better, but also, yeah, of course, I would like for you to polish and have everything in the game that should be in the game at launch.
And I definitely want reduced player friction. I think that's
important.
I'm
still on the fence. Hey, Risky, we're still on the fence about that. We might want more. We don't know. I'm not gonna.
I guess it's kind of dependent on who I'm playing with. Like, if you're in my platoon, can I boost up the player friction? Or
I mean, if you ask nicely, you can. Sure.
All right. Well, once we hear our email back
the real
from
question.
Too many jokes trying to be said here.
All I'm trying to say is, Risky, if it's just you and Chocolate in a squad, what level of friction are you looking to have?
I'm turning that bitch down to like 0, negative 5.
All right.
I don't want him anywhere near me.
That was my only question. I'm good now. I can move on. All right.
The one thing I will say that I think is cool, or not cool, I guess, but it's important that they're working on is the Tides of War system, like because that's like their seasonal content stuff. Like,
yeah.
That's the reason people are going to be coming back and playing every week, playing every month. 100%. It's to unlock those rewards. So making sure that they nail that on the head is super important. So, I mean, it's going to take more time. It's going to take more time.
And you hear about it all the time now, like hitting it right out of the gate in a positive way. Like, that can mean a lot in terms of not just player retention, but just people having a positive view of your game as a whole, whether rightfully or wrongfully. Like if all you do is go online and everything you see about Battlefield 5 from the out-go is just negative comments, then it's going to affect your opinion on it, for better or for worse. So, yeah, get the best foot forward when this game launches. That's all anybody can ask, and I think, if it's a good game, it'll be fine. So,
all right. Whoa, Doc, do you hear that?
Oh, whoa.
Warning, incoming missile.
All right, so we are back again with everyone's favorite segment, Name the Phrase. And unfortunately, Chocolate isn't here to give the spiel about it, so I will do it. Name the phrase. This is the beginning of a 4-week journey through giving you all these great words, and then at the end of that, you send us an email with this phrase, and then you have the potential to win 1 month of Game Pass. Sounds way more epic than it actually is. But hey, a month of Game Pass is a month of Game Pass when all you have to do is listen.
Yeah.
And speaking of listening, this week's word, Spidey. You heard that right? Spidey.
That reminds me. I feel like there's... I want to say there's a game coming out pretty soon. That has to do with spiders, Spidey something.
Yeah, there is. That's a couple more news stories down.
Oh, name the phrase.
I could have adjusted.
Send in emails.
I was say I could have adjusted it, but I kind of want to end it with the upcoming games. So we're.
Well, that's what an incoherent co-host is for.
But
so you're welcome.
Hey, speaking of games that are being released soon, Anthem is nowhere near being released soon. But for whatever reason, at the PAX West panel for Anthem, they announced that they're doing a demo for the game on February 1st. They announced a demo for their game 5 months early.
Question: I'm trying to think back. Genuinely, I'm trying to think back. Has there ever been a quote-unquote demo announced this early before?
No, dude. Bethesda at this point announces their whole video games 5 months early.
Oh well,
before they come out.
I've got some views on that whole let's announce a game before we've even started working on the game before that game. But whatever.
They did say that there will be alphas and betas before that, but this actual game demo that everyone. Well, actually, it's not. It's not even everyone.
So is it like?
So
well, I was about to say, I guess it's not necessarily an open demo per se, right?
Not really. So this is, I think this was actually them calling it a VIP demo, but it's available to EA Access and Origin Access members or people that have pre-ordered the game. I'm assuming the demo will go public. This feels weird talking about a demo that's coming in 2019.
Yeah, and not only that, but is there no company you would expect? Let me phrase it this way: if there was a company for you to pick, Risky, that you thought would coin the phrase VIP demo, would it have been any other company other than EA?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Just want to get that out there because thank you so much, EA, for giving us the phrase VIP demo. The hell.
So, yeah, whatever. That information is whatever, like I said. But they did drop a new trailer at PAX West. The trailer is called Our World, My Story. I think I said that right. It might have been called My Story, Our World. One or the other, though.
We got to the same ending.
And they kind of just went over the things you'll be doing while you're out on your squad, like your missions and stuff, but then the one base that is your own, and that's your own instance thing where you're going to be the only one there. They kind of went through the different people you run into and how you're going to be evolving the story and the relationships you'll be building with these different characters. So I'm assuming it'll be your mechanic will have some story, your person who gets you your gear. It's you're going to have, it seems like close-knit relationships with all these people, and they're going to be things that you are actually forming, which, I mean, it's BioWare, so that it makes sense. Storytelling's a thing, so.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, question I've got for you, have we still gotten a sense if there is a community hub of any sort, or I'm still a little confused on how that works as far as stuff that is tailored towards you, and if there is an actual...
I think they showed that in the trailer, actually.
A tower.
I think so.
Okay, they did? Okay, like a tower.
I should have watched that right before.
Okay.
I watched this as soon as it came out. I should have watched it
I watched it too, and I wasn't quite sure at that part.
Because when you're walking around and you see a bunch of NPCs and you know that some of them are your friends, is there more out there?
But I'm just is it basically the tower where there's just NPCs and there's maybe 16 or so people spawning there too? But yeah, I wasn't quite sure. But I mean, I don't know. I still think I'm still optimistic for this game. I think it could be really good. I hope that they've learned a lot from
everything that's happened in gaming over the last couple of years.
Basically, yeah. I mean,
I hope that for every game at this point.
You would, yeah.
Take a look
I know,
around
right?
you. Look at your surroundings, and then make some executive decisions on your video games. Maybe a VIP demo isn't the best thing to call it. Maybe we don't need to hear about it.
Piss poor choice of words, maybe.
Yeah, and we don't need it 5 months early.
Also that, like, I just imagine like there's some board member and be like, hey man, you know what are really gonna get these fans stirred up at the PAX West? Tell them about the VIP demo.
Drop that VIP demo date.
Drop that mic drop right after that. Yeah.
The coolest part out of this though is definitely that trailer. So you go check the
100%.
trailer out.
Yeah. All things aside, it still looks like it's looking to be pretty cool, and I'm definitely excited to play it and see how it turns out. Like, how much of a, the last BioWare game we're coming off of, I think, is Andromeda. So sky's the limit in terms of.
Oh, stop! It wasn't that bad.
I know. I'm just kidding. I know. It does get a lot of hate. It was not as bad as people say. Did not live up to my expectations, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So that's your VIP demo news. If you couldn't tell, not the most exciting week of games, but. Let's talk about some more games coming to Xbox.
All right. So me and you actually, this was news to us. We actually.
It's news to all of you now.
Risky. Yeah, news to all of you. I thought this was already on Xbox, but turns out the Amnesia Collection is actually coming to Xbox via Windows Insider, likely in October. Makes sense that they would probably want to drop it around Halloween.
They nailed the month at least.
Right. Yeah. So you're gonna get the Dark Descent, A Machine for Pigs, and Justine. I have actually beat the Dark Descent and Machine for Pigs on PC. I have never played Justine, but for what it's worth, in my opinion, the Dark Descent is probably top 3 all-time best horror games, in my opinion.
All right, how do you put it up to? Oh man, what did I just play last year? Outlast. Scarier than Outlast, probably.
Yes, I in my opinion, yes. It's a lot like Outlast in the sense that you don't have a weapon.
That's the worst. Nothing like
feeling this game
defenseless.
Definitely kind of exactly. This game definitely inspired. I feel like I don't know if it was the first, but it definitely really got this genre going. But man, some of the stuff you see in this game and
pretty messed up.
Just some of the way the AI works with how they, enemies appear where they appear and kind of. Obviously it's got jump scares, it's obviously what they're going for, but just the environment they set up and the storytelling is just so good in this game, so good. It is easily top 3 all time for me. Machine for Pigs, not quite as good in my opinion, but it's going for a different thing in terms of what's going on in the storytelling, but it's really good too. But yeah, check them out. If you're looking for a great horror game in October, that would 100% be it.
This news story came up, and I was like, I thought this was already on Xbox, but
yeah,
because hasn't this been around a while at this point?
Yeah, I want to say it's been on PlayStation 4 for a couple of years at least now, if not longer. And I mean PC. I want to say I played this back when I was right before I graduated grad school. So. I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, did you graduate grad school, Doc? Man, just throw that in all of our faces.
Look, man, it was a blur of years, and when I think back, it's like people are like, "What were you doing when you were this age?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know. I guess I was in school. I don't know. My 20s were a blur. I don't know."
I ended up with this
diploma. That's just how I
ended up in a pharmacy for some reason. Not my choice.
Moving on. Where's chocolate with some lewd jokes when you need him? Like, come on.
All right.
Anyways.
Last up, we started this up last week, but again, here are your upcoming games for this week. So today, Tuesday, September 4th, we've got a few big games. Destiny 2 Forsaken, which I already bought. So there's that. It's great.
You are deep back into Destiny 2, right?
I didn't mention this, but I did play a decent amount of Destiny. I also realized that I didn't play any of the Warmind campaign, which was the last one. Like, I went to a planet and then this cutscene started, and I was
you're like, oh crap.
Did you play any
this
of it?
Stuff? I played the first 3 missions, and I think that's as far as I got. And then I heard a few people say it was kind of slightly underwhelming as far as how it ended, so I kind of just let go.
Yeah, so a weird cutscene started with some person I've never seen, and I was like, oh man, I didn't even touch the last DLC. So good thing I'm super pumped and putting down another $40 on this one. But yeah, so Destiny 2 Forsaken is out today. PUBG 1.0, we talked about this last week. That is also here.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I'm looking to get back into that.
I wonder if the price is getting jacked up today. That kind of sucks. If it went from 30 to 100, or 30 to 100. Ooh, maybe
actually,
throw it in the
garbage. I bet it's still 30 because I think it's always been 30 on PC.
Okay.
Actually, right? Yeah, I think it is. So I bet it says 30. I could be wrong, but I bet it does.
Well, let's hope so. Fingers crossed for anyone that's trying to hop into it now. Also, if you're trying to hop into it now, why did you wait so long? Even though it seems like today is the perfect day to pick it up and start playing.
Right. Right.
Dragon Quest 11. I know nothing about this except for it's getting 9s, 10s, 91s.
Yeah. It's
getting ridiculous scores. So that's that. There it is. I think it's on PlayStation and PC to start. I think I'm not mistaken.
Correct, yeah.
Coming to Switch eventually. Like Doc mentioned earlier, we have the Battlefield 5 beta for people that had pre-ordered, right? Or EA Access
correct.
members.
Pre-ordered, or I don't know how the EA Access works. I'm still confused about that, but I know for sure if you pre-ordered it, you can play it starting the 4th Tuesday, and it is open and available to everybody on the 6th, and it will be running at least over the weekend. I think they gave a specific date, but they also acted like they might extend it out, so you're going to get it for at least 4 or 5 days.
Okay, so either way, on Thursday, you'll be able to play it. Anyone will be able to play it.
Truly open beta.
For the Switch, this is just some ports, but these are great games that, I don't know much about Broforce except for it sounded super familiar for some reason.
Oh, I love that game. Have you not played? Oh, man, Risky, you might have to get that on Switch.
Is this a port then? Broforce is?
It is. It first came out on PS4. It's also on, I want to say it's also on Xbox. I could be wrong about that, but I think it came out on Xbox a little while back. But it is, basically imagine, it's like these creators of this game was like, hey, Schwarzenegger from The Predator, or Will Smith from Men in Black, or freaking Chuck Norris of all people, like any
manly
the Expendables, basically. Yeah, the Expendables cast, basically. Let's just put them in a game and make it pixel art, and just everything explodes.
All right, yep.
Like everything is an explosion. Stuff is blowing up everywhere, and it's a blast.
A shot of testosterone right into my veins.
Like, the only thing you need to know more about this game is when you complete a level, you hang on to the bottom of the helicopter while you're holding a gun and fly off with the helicopter. Like, that's how you end.
I couldn't ask for a better way to end a level.
It's fun. All
right, continuing the Switch games that have been ported over, Hyper Light Drifter, which they just announced at the most recent Nindies Direct from Nintendo. That's coming out on the 6th, as well as Gone Home, which, as far as walking simulators go, Gone Home is fantastic. So if you haven't got a chance to play that, that's there. On the 7th, which is Friday, we have Spider-Man. Woo! Finally. And NBA Live. Ending on a banger.
Maybe we should put Spider-Man Live.
Yeah.
Looking back at that, maybe we should have.
I definitely botched that one.
No, it's okay. And NBA Live. Sorry, NBA Live. Sorry.
I'm so pumped. That should be. That'll probably be. I'll probably talk some Forsaken and Spider-Man next week. I see myself definitely hopping into those two.
Man, you were really rolling in the gaming right now. Yeah, this is.
Happening.
I'm not even a comic book guy, but I am super pumped for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man looks so good.
It really does.
And I also have PUBG. Like, I've got this Battlefield 5 beta. I have another wedding. I didn't even talk about it, Doc, but I had another wedding this past weekend, and I have another one next weekend.
Are you secretly just Owen Wilson from Wedding Crashers?
Yeah.
Like, be
honest. You know what sucks, though? I'm going with my girlfriend every time.
I mean, hey, like the movie, at least you're getting good food and booze,
That's
right?
true.
I mean,
she's a hot date most nights. Every night. I didn't mean most nights. That was messed up.
Being respectful, I've seen a picture of your girlfriend. She is a catch. She is a catch.
So yeah, I didn't think about that until now, but that's really gonna eat up. It's in Albany too, so it's 2 hours away, 3 hours away.
Oh wow. What wedding number is this for you now?
This is gonna be the 4th weekend in a row.
That is insane, dude. That is crazy. And most of these have been back to back, right?
Literally, this is the 4th weekend in a row.
Oh my god. What?
I don't know. I don't like to talk about it. It's funny because like first wedding was a ton of fun. Second wedding was still kind of fun. This past wedding, I was getting tired. Next wedding, I'm gonna hate every second I'm there.
Oh man! Now, have you had to go to rehearsal dinners for all?
No,
these?
just one of them. So luckily,
Okay, well, at
only
least-
one of them I was
okay,
actually
okay.
in and had to do all
More
of that
involved,
wedding
okay.
stuff, and like,
Gotcha.
so that's just, yeah. But
Hey,
either way,
anybody out there want to spark up a fun conversation with Chocolate Bear? Ask him what he thinks about wedding rehearsals. It's a real fun combo.
he has no idea what those are.
Why would you want to act out a wedding?
You
ahead of
need to
time? Like,
rehearse how you eat your dinner. No, dude, there's just dinner.
yeah, that
after
was it. Sorry,
rehearsal.
my bad. Yeah. He's like, I don't need to know where I need to place my fork. I know where to place my fork. I'm like, chocolate.
You know nothing.
Anyways,
All right, well, that's gonna do it for the news. So, let's plug this show up. One of these times, you're
Sorry.
not gonna laugh or cough.
a little choked up.
Just, it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
It's a good episode. It's really gets me choked up.
Chocolate
Sorry.
will be back next week. It'll be even better.
I know. I'm a little depressed. I hope
That's
he's,
that was
you
yeah. No, got you. We both miss him.
hope he's okay.
Yeah, we don't know. He just disappeared.
Chocolate.
All right. If you'd like to support the show with your hard-earned money, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. If you'd like to stay up to date with Cross Atlantic Gaming, make sure you follow us on the social medias. That's Twitter and Instagram at CAG podcast. Questions, comments, concerns, reach out to us at cagpodcast@gmail.com. I'll make a announcement right now without asking anyone, consulting you, or having Chocolate on the show. Going forward, we're going to have a monthly mailbag. I don't know what we're going to call it. Monthly mailbag sounds right, but I feel like every other podcast uses mailbag, but that's literally what it is, so why wouldn't you just call it
Right.
the monthly inbox rundown questions? Nope. So the monthly mailbag
Flows way better off the tongue.
is going to be a thing. We like to try to keep the podcast short as I'm rambling on talking about this. So once a month now, we're going to dedicate a section of our show to listener questions. So if you have any questions throughout the month, send them into cagpodcast@gmail.com. And I would say it'll probably be the last episode of the month generally. We will have a whole segment where we go through everyone's questions, get everything answered. So you have plenty of time to send questions in. If they're about things that are currently happening right now, hopefully we talked about how we feel about these things. But if you have more questions about it, we'll still cover that stuff. Like whatever you guys
Absolutely,
have, send them in. Yeah.
Just just a good way to get some community involvement and just wanna if you guys got questions, whatever it is, maybe you don't know what a rehearsal dinner is, maybe you want to ask that.
So feel free.
whatever.
And literally we'll cover. Well, I was gonna say any questions that really opens us up. Keep them appropriate. Don't.
Please.
Yes. But we will cover anything though. Anything. If you have weird questions, if you got weird questions about food or rehearsal dinners or just.
Yeah. Weird rash that's popped up, just whatever.
We'll talk about that later. Maybe
What?
we'll discuss weird rashes. I don't know. But yeah, so the monthly mailbag, look out for that in 3 episodes from now. We'll have a firm date for that next episode, but something you guys can look forward to where, I don't know, we love hearing from you guys. We love getting feedback from you guys. And speaking of feedback, if you go to our Twitter right now, we do have a survey up that you guys can answer. It should be live for another week or so. If you have any type of feedback for the show, whether it be good or bad, we definitely like hearing both. So
Absolutely. Yep.
the only place I know that is right now is on our Twitter. So it's just a Google form. Fill it out. You don't have to answer all the parts. You can answer whatever you want. Tell us we're the worst. Tell us the things you enjoy.
Yep.
That's there for you guys. It's completely anonymous too, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
The only way that we're going to know is if you write your name in there somewhere. So,
Yeah. But seriously, guys, do it because that is the way we are going to get better, and we want to get better, and we want to make this show as good as it possibly can be, and that is going to directly involve you in the community, and that is the best way for us to just hear what your ideas are.
yeah.
So,
And the first part of that you're already seeing is the monthly mailbag that was something that's like, hey, you guys should answer more listener questions. And before we're like, nah, I don't know. It's just going to make the show even longer. We want to make it consumable. Or you want to be able to take it in shortly. We don't want to be the giant bombcast and be 3 hours long, because that's a lot of time to have to listen to just me and Doc talking here while Chocolate feeds his baby. So, shots fired. Love you, Chocolate.
Man. Savage. Love you, Chocolate.
So yeah, definitely go fill out the survey if you want, or just write in questions to cagpodcast@gmail.com. The last thing, we do have the merch shop store, whatever you want to call it. Updated logos should be there, and the link for that is in the show notes. Anything you'd like to add, Doc?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, I guess there's nothing really else to announce right now. Just hit up that survey though, guys, or any feedback, whether it's through the Twitter poll or just reaching out to us directly. Can't stress enough that we appreciate any and all feedback, and I know I'm speaking for Risky and myself and Chocolate when I say this. We are just super excited with what the future holds with what we're doing, not only with this podcast but just with you guys as the community. I haven't been this excited in a long time in terms of just being around a great group of guys and just building something bigger. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I completely agree. Like you said, you're speaking for all of us there. All right. Well, thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Oh, sorry. Risky's like, yep, way to nail it with the improv.
Guess we're not
jokes
putting
there.
anything at the end of the podcast because Chocolate's not farting on you.